We are here to build this country for our generations unborn. In confused element, George Weah. Oh, so you can legitimate corruption? I see a rescue man and telling you say you're going committee room.
And the person saying it. And the United Party people got to be naive to sit there and think that these people are interested in working with them.
All of the areas of sports, because these people are flag bearers, we're going to promote sports in our country. It's a good.
That's Jeremiah. They form Nimbo. What do you think they are doing? A political party they are forming.
Peace and stability into this country.
In his 80s, he's not just seen as president, he's seen first as a Baptist deacon.
Our friends, to that particular friend, what mother did not do, you cannot do it. Your mother did, you will not do it. Thank you very much.
And we have our women in the market that are there to support President re-election.
In his 80s, he's not just seen as president, he's seen first as a Baptist deacon, so which means man of God, I would believe. Then he's seen.
We are in here today.
Former president, we are was a pastor.
Self-proclaimed,
Good morning, Liberia. Welcome to Kear Morning Live. Here's Daniel Rogers, the sheriff, the voice of the people, speaking truth to power every single morning. He has no fear, no favor. He stands for what is right, calling out the wrong, bringing justice to the light. HML Morning Live. The sheriff on the mic, keeping truth alive. He is the voice of the voiceless, courage in his stride. Kear Morning Live, Kear Morning Live, Kear Morning Live, Kear Morning Live. The sheriff in the public court of opinion. 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 He is the sheriff.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Of course, the sheriff is back. I'm a lone wolf this morning.
To power every single morning.
And every morning, every week morning,
no fear.
We're here without fear nor favor.
He stands for what is right, calling out the wrong.
We're live from the nation's capital, Monrovia, Liberia. Kear Morning Live, KML.
Morning Live.
Welcome to the Tuesday morning, August 4th presentation. Wherever you are, on your couch, on your sofas, on the beach,
courage,
you're walking,
Kear Morning Live.
Trying to exercise. Say good morning to you on your Benzos, your Nisos, whatever SUVs, your commercial bus, taxi cab,
in the public,
wherever you are going, coming from the airport, doctors, ISIS, physician assistant, civil servant, teachers. Good morning and welcome to Kear Morning Live. We are factual, balanced, accurate, and timely. My name is Daniel Rogers. I'm your sheriff. I'll be with you until 5 minutes to 10 o'clock this morning. Let's stay together. Follow us on our Facebook page, KCN TV. Of course, our YouTube page, Kear Network. And examining Liberia under the microscope. Share the video.
The sheriff in the public court of opinion.
Of course, the sheriff in the public court of opinion. Tuesday, 4th August. The presentation. Buenos días, buenos noches. Hola. Hello. In Spanish, hola. Hello. Senora, ladies and gentlemen. It's good to be back. Thanks to my producers, George. And of course, the man, Javi Mata, a.k.a. my madam. Let's bring you Natasha Yasia Wright, morning tea. Natasha Yasia, by the way, is the president of the Judiciary Reporters Association at the Temple of Justice. I want to say, Natasha, good morning to you. I know you're up, a workaholic like myself. We are the early morning bird. Good morning to all of you. The classic man. Time check is 6 minutes past the hour. Too many things to discuss. The other family is blaming Mr. Taylor for the war. But her brother is an architect of the war. In fact, this is the man who went to the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, the TRC, and said he owed no apology. He has no regret because his father was incarcerated. His father was an ambassador. You know, these are the things we want to talk about. These are the things we want to talk about. He wants to blame Taylor for the war. He blamed Taylor for the war, for the carnage. The war that led to the deaths of 250,000 people. To all our mothers, Ma Sisi, Ma Josephine, Ma Sarah, Ma Mata, to all of you, God is great. And I got confidence He's going to do it for you. He's going to do it for me. So whatever you're doing, do it to the best of your ability. Do it with passion, tenacity. Have the desire to do it. Finisher Junior Bar, good morning. Wherever you are. Morris A.S. Swain, good morning to you, Morris. Finally, you got me. On Thursday, we have been chasing or trying to get an insider, a man who once worked for the DEA, Dave Jackley. Dave Jackley served as Deputy Director General for Administration. He was dismissed according to a release from the Executive Mansion for administrative reasons. Now, as an insider, Dave will explain to us. We've been trying to get Dave. He once served as Deputy Director General of the DEA, Dave Jackley, a trained DEA agent. He's in the United States. He was brought here by former President Weah. And according to the Executive Mansion, but he will tell us the story. He will tell us the story. So, former President Weah said, the issue of drugs was just a small thing. It was small, so we settled it. But $100 million worth of drugs came through this country. And I agree with Senator Snow that the issue of drugs, not 1 day, not 2 days, not 7 days, not 14 days, not 2 weeks, not 1 month, not 1 year, but several years. Several years. So it is not under this government, but from the level of investigation. And I say to you, fellow Liberians, if you are not satisfied with the investigation by the Joint Security, and you feel there are people of interest in the government, the best thing to do is to inform. If I'm involved in pretending and you have information on me and facts, not based on falsehood, based on politics, the investigation should not be about politics. If Boaka named, the president is not named, his friends, ministers are not named. You know, if Liberia was a serious country, the criminals, people who have robbed people, you will not be listening to them. But because of the gullible society, you don't like good people. That is why you vote for criminals. You vote for murderers. And in the end, you bear the consequence. I always say the consequence of your action. Kear Morning Live. Kear Radio FM 95.9. Invite a friend. Share the podcast. Classic Mayor, good morning. Bevin Cape Cod. Good morning, Councilor Boo. Bien Kota. Colin Steer, my advisor, good morning. And good morning to all of you. So let's bring you Natasha Yasia Right Morning Tea. Team Lose to Serve. Text Romans 12, chapter 12, verse 2. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will. This is a call to actively pursue a life aligning with God's will through transformation of our thinking. This involves actively resisting worldly influences and allowing God to reshape our perspectives and values. Kear Morning Live. It is all about culture or a way of life. Paul is telling us that the culture around us will influence us and control us without even realizing it, unless we proactively take measures to renew our minds and to refresh the ways of our own Christian culture. Kear Morning Live. Do not love the world or the things in the world. If anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For that is the world, for that is in the world. The lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the lust of pride of life. It is not of the Father, but it is of the world. And the world is passing away, and the lust of it. But he who does the will of God abides forever. 1 John chapter 2, verse 15 to 17. Romans 12, 2 encourage us to reflect and renew the mind, because it is only through the commitment to work toward God's perfect will that we can achieve true success. Kear Morning Live. Though desire for money, power, and position, many have turned their backs on their faith. They honor money and possessions over God, and they turn a blind eye to the wrongdoings because they are consumed by wealth and status. 1 Peter 1, excuse me, 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 1. But the paradox here is that by abstaining from the patterns of worldly pleasures and material gains, we can achieve what truly makes us happy. Let us pray. Lord, please guide our soul from pride, our hearts from carelessness, and our minds from too much focus on important things. Teach us, O God, especially in your word of thoughts, to know you more and more, that we will be on the right path to eternal life. In Jesus' mighty name, amen and amen. Thanks to Natasha Yasia Wright, young evangelist. And by the way, she's the president of the Judiciary Reporters Association of Liberia. Kear Morning Live. Let's go to the PUL and bring you this release. PUL moves to engage lawyers over government's failure to produce evidence. Monrovia, August 3rd. The membership of the Press Union of Liberia, or PUL, has mandated its leadership to engage lawyers and seek appropriate remedies following the government's failure to provide evidence linking the Liberian media to receiving monies from a drug cartel. At a mass membership meeting held at the PUL head office in Monrovia on Monday, August 3rd, 2026, journalists and media practitioners overwhelmingly resolve that legal remedies must be pursued within 1 week. Members expressed grave concern over the damaging nature of the allegations made by Inspector General of Police Gregory Coleman, speaking on behalf of the government's Joint Security Investigative Task Force. On July 30th, 2026, the police IG claimed that the task force had verified and established that the drug cartel had infused monies into the media to sway and influence ongoing investigations into the seizure of over $500 million worth of cocaine. However, no evidence has been provided to substantiate this claim. The PUA warns that such unsubstantiated allegations erode public trust, endanger the safety of journalists, and undermine the credibility of the media. The membership further noted that the IG statement should not go without challenge, stressing that they may have been made out of frustration and intended to distract attention from heightening media reports implicating senior security and government officials in collaboration with the cartel. The motion to mandate the union's leadership to engage lawyers was proffered by journalist Winston Blyden after extensive deliberations. Following more than an hour of discussions on the damaging statement from the Inspector General of Police, Gregory Coleman, I move, if I can receive a second, that this body mandates the leadership of the Press Union of Liberia to contact our lawyers with immediate effect to seek appropriate remedies to this issue and report within 1 week. Winston Blyden. PUF President Julius Kanumba, who presided over the meeting, commended the membership for their strong solidarity in defense of the integrity of the media. He emphasized that the union is not in confrontation with government, but insisted that the government must provide evidence to aid the fight against illicit drugs rather than stifling it by failing to reveal the names of media institutions allegedly working with the cartel. Julius Kanumba, President PUL, signed. And the PUS should also call Ronnie Kear. Ronnie Kear, also one of our own, a veteran, also accused the IG. And like I said, I don't want to talk about that man. I will not dignify him because, in my opinion, he has no moral to discuss the issue of criminality. And you know who I'm talking about. And you know I'm not afraid of anybody. I love to see the surrogates respond. Then I will come out. Because we have moral to speak in this country. You rob people. You send some people to the early demise. Some people they are going through depression. And you want to tell me about criminality in my country? You don't have that moral to do so. You don't. 20 minutes past the hour. Kear Morning Live. So, folks, I will also call on the leadership to also invite, because I know these are the things that will come up. The IG will also say, but one of your own accused me, the Inspector General. I serve by the will and pleasure of the president. I represent. I work for the country. The uniform, the badge, the seal represents the people of this country. So let's call a spade a spade. We have to be fair with our own conscience. If I sit on this platform, this unique platform, and just accuse somebody, I must adduce the facts or the evidence. Segu Fofana, good morning. We cannot just talk loosely. somebody sit on the platform and accuse the Inspector General. Is it selective justice? The membership, well, they were resolved, contacting our lawyers. But equally so, we must also be chastised, because the fight against this madness, this nonsense, and those idiots calling themselves cartel is everyone's fight. It's not just the government. It's not the politician, the lazy politician. They sleep, do nothing. The civil society, all of us must fight. We the victims, and we continue to be victimized by this nonsense called drugs. There is no way you can eliminate it, even in the great United States of America, even in Britain, in the Western world. There is no way. But you can bring it to a level that lives, the young generation, the youth generation, or youthful generation will be safe. So if you have information, you don't have to come public. You can place a call to the IG. You can place a call to folks at the Ministry of Justice, and you tell them that we have information, we have facts against this individual or those individuals, because according to you, you are not satisfied with the investigation. And I always say to people, I speak the way I speak because I don't belong. I've never joined any political party. I hear people talk nonsense. Oh, the men are sedition. Oh, the men are Unity Party partisan. Do you think I give a damn about those parties? I don't give a damn, but it is my right to vote. And if I feel a certain individual come with the desire or has the desire to move our country, of course, I will evaluate that person. Michael C.G. George, good morning. I will evaluate that person, then I will give them my vote. As a sound person, why are you voting for this? Oh, I just like him. Oh, I just like the boy. Oh, I just like the girl. Oh, I just like the... No. Our country is not going to develop when we vote on the basis of like. It should be what he or she brings to the fore. Maurice Sway, good morning. 25 minutes past the hour. So if you have information, because you want a cosmetic investigation, you want evidence to be manufactured because of politics and politics that has not helped this country, fellow Liberians. Kear Morning Live. Now, Buema Famule, I'm going to read you a letter written before his demise, before he died, Thomas Weowu, who wrote Ellen. So for Miata Famule, if I want to discuss Miata Famule, not because of the statement she made, but because her family name is in the carnage of our country. Her brother went to the TRC, and Miata is my friend. Like a big sister. Her brother went to the TRC and showed no remorse. He said no regret. If he have to do it again, he will do it. Those are the things I want to discuss. And the letter, on the flip side, 9 o'clock, we'll read you that letter. You will take your time. I will ask you to embrace yourself, because the debate between Ian and Yak and Buema Famule, Yak said Taylor only walked through it. Taylor is not the architect. Taylor was brought on by the legs of Famule, Amos Sawyer, Ellen Mama Nuku Salif, the woman who damaged our country. Every fabric of our country damaged by Ellen Johnson Salif. Where today, parents are in tears. Our children can stand and talk back to us because the nonsense they call human right. What did she do with the billions and billions and billions of dollars that came to Liberia? I hear Ellen say, in order to get investors, real investors, the president got to do this, the president got my foot. The best place for you, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, is that Saw Beach. Because you had 12 years. Liberia is just a different place. Today, a senator is going for 11 years and his wife is going for 4 years in the great United States. A Chinese has been sentenced to death for embezzling 325 million United States dollars. In China, you can steal, you can peddle drugs, but when you are caught, you will feel the consequence of your action. In Liberia, what sort of law is this? That except the person in office impeach, or if that person is not impeached, he or she served their term, you cannot. That is sheer nonsense. And don't tell me nonsense that insult. No. Because senators, lawmakers, even ministers use it. Kear Morning Live. For the third time, Fina Bono has filed a bond. Good morning to Josh Feka. David E. Harris, good morning. David E. Harris, good morning. I don't have a side. And it pains me for some people, all the envy and jealousy. They born you, you die, you come back, you die, you come back. You can't be like me. I can't be like you. What made me smart? Some of the people who you're healed, you're glorified. They're not smart like me. Because if they were halfway smart like me, when they get the opportunity, put me in that chair there one day and see how things will straighten up around here. God forbid, put me there. Just one day, let the president say, you're called a sheriff. Let the sheriff sit down here. I will sit on the other side. Sheriff, you make decision. Oh my God. Hell will break loose. Because I come with discipline. And you're not straight, you're on your own. You're on your own, fellow Liberians. So, the former protocol, Fina Bono, have filed. Let me bring you the story. Where's the story? Where's the story? Where's the story? Where's the story? Let me try to get the story. I don't in your politics or your politics. I don't glorify men. A human being, I don't glorify not men. I don't worship men. I don't. Breaking news. Former Chief of Protocol Fina Bono files US $8 million criminal insurance bond in bid to secure release. Former Executive Mansion Chief of Protocol Nora Fina Bono has made a tear attempt to satisfy the bail requirements imposed by Criminal Code C, filing a new US $8 million criminal insurance bond backed by two insurance companies after previous bond arrangements were rejected by the court. According to documents filed before Criminal Code C, the latest criminal appearance bond is underwritten by two insurance providers, with US $2 million guaranteed by the American Underwriter Group and the remaining US $6 million provided by Asico Insurance Company. The latest filing represents Bono's third effort to comply with the court's bill requirements in a high-profile corruption and asset recovery case being prosecuted by the Assets Recovery and Property Retrieval Task Force, or ARRET, and the Ministry of Justice. Court records show that Bono's initial bond was challenged by prosecutors doing a motion to justify sureties who argued that the pledged properties and sureties did not satisfy the legal requirements governing criminal appearance bond or bonds. After hearing requirements or arguments from both sides. Judge Usman FK No Nonsense Judge rejected the original bond and granted the defense 72 hours to file a replacement. The defense subsequently filed a second bond package supported by property evaluation bonds. However, prosecutors again rejected, arguing that one of the properties had already been pledged in several other court proceedings and was heavily combined following review. Judge Feka ruled that the property could not lawfully support the bond because its existing obligations exceeded its declared value. Kear Morning Live. The court further held that the combined value of the second bond package fell far below what is considered significant in light of the seriousness of the allegations. Judge Feka therefore disqualified the bond fixed bonus bill at $8 million United States dollars in order that she remain in custody unless she produce an acceptable criminal appearance bond. In response to that ruling, Bono's legal team has now submitted a tier bond package, this time relying on insurance guarantees rather than property sureties. According to the filing, the bond is divided between two insurers, with the American Underwriter Group assuming liability for US $2 million and Asico Insurance Company guaranteeing the remaining $6 million, bringing the total surety to the court order US $8 million. Under Liberian law, a criminal appearance bond serves as a guarantee that an accused person will appear before the court whenever required. It provides, if approved by the court, the bond allows the defendant to remain at liberty pending trial, subject to all conditions imposed by the court. The newly filed insurance bond is expected to undergo judicial scrutiny to determine whether it fully complies with Liberia's criminal procedural law and whether the participating insurers possesses the legal capacity and financial standing to guarantee the amount pledged. Prosecutors from ARET and the Ministry of Justice are also expected to review the bond before the court decides whether to approve or reject the last filing. Bono, a former senior official in the administration of former President George Manawea, is among dozens of defendants facing charges including money laundering, theft of property, misuse of public money, criminal conspiracy, forgery, and criminal felicitation. She has denied all allegations, and the case remains pending before criminal court see at the Temple of Justice. Kear Morning Live. So, with Finda and her lawyers be 3rd time lucky. One company, insurance company or insurer, putting up $2 million. The Asico $6 million. And again, they go back to the judge or to the court. Prosecutors will have to look at the bond. If it is satisfactory to prosecutors, the court will proceed. There will be argument and counter-argument. Movement, which is defense, and plaintiff will argue. And now that will be left with the judge. We're panicking. Some of us were saying, where is she going? Where will she get that $8 million? Where will she get the $8 million to file? So two insurance company has filed $8 million. Now, don't get it wrong. They say by filing, she will walk until trial. No, she will not. They will have to discuss the bond. The bond will have to satisfy the court and prosecutors, and then the judge will make a decision whether to grant or whether the bond this time around, not a property bond, because the property they brought, it was used multiple times in other cases. Now, when the judge is smart, when you have a smart judge who knows what he or she is doing and what they are being paid for, they will investigate, not knowing the property, the surety presented by movement, the defendant. They use that surety or property in multiple cases. So the judge said, no, it's not possible. We cannot. So she was given 72 hours. I'm going to get your view on this. She was given 72 hours to file a new bond, which she has done. $8 million. Not property bond. $8 million. 2 times. The court rejected. Will she be third time lucky if investigation into the bond, debate, legal debate, will she be lucky for the third time? Will she be third time lucky that she will not, the judge or the court will not, or prosecution will not reject, because the company, Asico, is an old insurance company, and the American underwriter insurance company. You know when they say American, yeah, not a flap and now, not a scar insurance, they have been delisted and they stay issuing surety to people. Yeah, they're still doing it. So will she be third time lucky? That's the question. Will Fina Bono be third time lucky? That is the question for anybody. The insurers, those who now will guarantee, or the guarantors of the bond, one company giving 2 million, the other company giving 6 million. So the court will now decide whether to grant Madam Bono, according to the bond file, her release until the case is heard. So in your opinion, because do not politicize, look, we talk about fighting corruption in the country. And I say this without fear, no favor. If His Excellency, the man that is cherished, loved by the people, he said he's coming back to do what? I don't know. This form, when I open the lines, or when the lines are open, I want you to tell me, where did he go and why is he coming back? George Weah, former President Weah. Now, somebody posted yesterday and said, yeah, we're not fair because we try to make the platform, to keep the standard of the platform. Somebody is saying, Obe and I, we're not fair, we're not independent, we have a side. No, nobody gets side yet. Even the owner of the radio station does not have a side. But as a Liberian, this owner can vote, or the owners can vote. But they are not teleguiding us. Because if that will happen, of course, I won't be around here. Because I will not be censored by anybody. I come with passion, tenacity, desire to serve the Liberian people. I'm not a hypocrite. I always say to people, I love money, but I love good money. And I'm not desperate. $50 in my pocket, $100. How much do I need to live? How much? David E. Harry, how much do I need? I'm a bastard. How much do I need to live? I get $100 in my pocket. I'm satisfied. I put $20 gas in my car. I live in Congo Town. Monday to Thursday, I'm here. So $20 gas can carry me, can bring me, can carry me and bring me. Over the weekend, I put another $20. I put $15 gas or $20 gas in my 2 generators. I'm just telling you how to make life easy and not to worry yourself. Because money does not make you happy. Money gives you confidence. Money makes you feel confident. Money does not make you happy, fellow Liberians. And I always teach this. But sometimes the more you get, the more you want. And too much of everything, it makes you to lose control. People are in the NSA. People are in the Ministry of Justice. They're not satisfied. They're in cahoots with the cartels because they are greedy. They want to live their life. I want to sit here. Now, somebody tell me, if I'm sitting here, how is it possible to sit here for my arm or my hand to reach to the ceiling? Is that possible? This is how we want to live. Kear Morning Live, KML with the sheriff on the People Station. My deputy is on an assignment. I assigned him to do something. He will be here tomorrow, and I will be back on Thursday because I also will continue with the assignment. We are coordinating. It's a perfect collabo. A young man who is disciplined. I have worked with people. He don't pretend to know it, because when you pretend, they say you got to use the old mat to plant the new one. That was how we were brought up. We follow people in the media. Oh, Martin Brown, Wilmot Stubblefield, Herbert Grisby, Gabriel Nimne, Steve McConnell, the late Aki Thomas, Charles Russell, Louis Wise. The list goes on. Gaswa Yamento. Those were our mentor. Martin Danwe Brown. We learn. We're not running like the young people now. The young people put them before the microphone. Oh, they're better than you. And they will do everything to bring you down. There is no substitute for an experience. Ruben Kane, good morning. There is no substitute for an experience. Let me say good morning to the original countryman, District 11. I will talk about him a bit. On the flip side, the original countryman. A man who has the desire, and it is left with the people of District 11. We want too much. How much do I need? How much do you need? So like I said, my generator got gas, generators, gas, my car, gas. I gas my both cars. NEC current, my rice in the corner, my oil, everything there. I don't need much. I grab my 2 bottles of Guinness. Yeah. Brown tap, how they call it? No. Yeah. Even though some Jew, they can make you the man, madam. No matter what the tea or the coffee. 15 minutes to the hour. Desperation calls us to do something and lead us into devastation, because every generation blames the one before. Our generation is blaming the past generation, and the other generation will blame our generation. So what sort of legacy do we want to leave, fellow Liberians? You know, greed. What is killing our country is greed, envy. People are envious. You can't be like me. I can't be like you. We are all beautiful in our own ways. Created by this, our Creator. I say this to you. Put your energy to work, because there is no food for lazy men. When you are lazy and you put your hands between your legs, you get up in the morning, you play Ludo, you play checkup. They say what you grow is what you eat. So you said whole day, oh, I don't have job. But many of you look for job. I know that for a fact. You look for job, you get the job, and you play with the job. And you say, oh, they witch me. Nobody witch you, because you are lazy. because you are freaking lazy and you believe in handout. You are lazy. You don't want to work. You just sit in the community and you gossip. You are a community chairman. You do nothing. You do nothing. No development, no cleaning up, nothing in the community. But you're supposed to be a community chairman. The issue of corruption is killing our country. A senator and his wife, they say action speaks louder than words. If I'm accused, I'm presumed innocent. Finabono is presumed innocent until she is proven guilty of all those accused. Until proven guilty. You are not guilty, that's the law. But they're saying, oh, he stole. They will form opinionative in our country. Because we got Mexico and Miami. 2 cities in a city. 2 cities in a city. The green and the blue has divided us. They asked the president about reconciliation. He's not talking about reconciling, extending olive branch. To extend olive branch, I will reconcile the country. Something he failed to do for 6 years, to reconcile the country. And the question is, how different is it going to be? How are you going to lead this country if the Liberian people decide that to give you the second time and they say they may get like Donald Trump? Joe Weah can never beat Donald Trump. Donald Trump can beat Joe Weah. The mentality, the articulation. If you curse me, I will curse you. I will not curse you on the radio. You know why I'll go deal with your hair. I'll go on my page. Too wrong doesn't make it right, but sometimes you have to show your simplicity. Cursing, you think that you alone can curse? Oh, bring it on. Bring it on. And I say, and I hold it. And I'm constant with this. I respect Mr. Weah, our former president, because of football, not politics. But if you Liberian people, the Liberian people, decide to bring him back, because I don't know where he went and why he's coming back. He said he's coming back. He will be on the ballot 2029. You, the very people who removed him, castigated him. You are calling from the abandoned district, the most underrepresented district. You, the same people now saying, you want to bring him back. Bring him back to do what? The man said, I don't know about politics, so that the people here bring me here. He made it clear he's not a politician. Meta family to let's be civil. When I talk my own, you tell your own. We got to curse. Because insult, inverted is carrying us nowhere. Let's discuss the issue. Let us bring sense to the discourse. We don't have to insult. Is it that you don't have the ability? Because you so love George Weah, you say, you're not fair on the show. We only said, refer to His Excellency Joseph Yoman Boaka. You can say Ambassador Boaka, the president, Mr. Boaka, because he's the president. He is the president. And we also caution people when Mr. Weah was president, the former president. You call on the show and call him Weah. No, we will not agree. My platform, Hot FM, will not accept it. So all we say, show a bit of respect, remorse. Let's respect our president. Then you say no. Because we say His Excellency, the president, or Mr. Boaka. And he say no. The poor guy saw. You ain't got independent, somebody posted. Yeah. What is that? Where is it carrying us? Why the hate? We have divided the country so much. That thing, the formula, in my opinion, that nonsense. I will deal with her. I will not insult nonsense. Government official then said, define nonsense. It's not an insult. But most of you think say that big insult. No. Stupid. You almost say, oh, that they may insult you. No. Minister of Information used the word before. Nonsense. We got to be serious in our country. We have to be serious if we want to move this country. Our conscience should be put to a test. When we get up in the morning, we look in the mirror. My mirror is my little boy. I put my life, I give it to God. I look in the face of my little boy. In the face of my little boy, Alexander Munez Rogers. I look in his face and I ask God to continue to protect him. Bill Rogers, good morning. I ask God to continue to protect him. The president of Senegal, Macky Sall, say, do not put my portrait on your wall. Take your children's portrait. When you learn to do that, you ministers, you managing directors or director generals, or even a supervisor, top civil servant, do not take the president's portrait and put it in your house or in your offices or in your office. Put it in your house. Your children's photo, the portrait of your children's photo, line it up. So when you're leaving, you look in their faces. You look at the picture and say, the decision I'm going to make today as a senator or a representative or a managing director, I will not shortcut the people money. I will not rob the people. I will not steal from the people. I will be Robin Hood. I will rob the rich and give it to the poor. Do we have a Robin Hood in Liberia? I say no. I say to you, no, we don't. 7 minutes to the hour. We don't have a Robin Hood who will rob the rich and give it to the poor. But the very poor people who are sent to power, the very poor who are sent to power, they go up there. They're from the community, impoverished community, most of them. Today they are representative. They have even moved from where they were living because they don't want to affiliate, they don't want to be seen, or they don't want to associate with the very people that gave them that power. The people who employ them with that pen on election day. And before they say they are the masses. And when you remove the M, you know what I'm talking about. I pass by to tell you on this Tuesday morning on the People Station, we are factual, balanced, accurate, and timely. We are always on time. Muchos gracias. Thanks ever so much. Lady Nemo, good morning. Lady Sano. Good morning to you, Tanu Jala. Long time no see. Linga, good morning. So, fellow Liberians, as we navigate together, a Chinese national is going, they will kill him. They gave him the death sentence for embezzling 325 million United States dollars. Oh, did Ellen and her bunch of criminals, they did not walk? And this president, somebody asked and say, why is he coming back? Is he coming back to revenge? Is he coming to pay back? Is he come? Because there's a man who said, we are all interrelated. Ellie and her bunch of thieves looted the country. Today, some of them going into hiding. They can't show their face. They can't. They had 12 years. Do you know drugs ban here? I agree with Senator Snow. I agree with him. I agree with Senator Snow. The issue of drugs, it's not today, it's not yesterday, not the day before, or even the day after. It's been here. When I hear people, then the man say, the issue of drugs, I was just small thing we deal with. What you deal with? Dave Jackley, one of the most senior director, senior officer at the DEA, will join me on Thursday, will join the platform. He will break silent. He is an insider. He will explain to you the issue of drugs in our country. It was free for all. Can't tell me nonsense. Don't tell me nonsense. Don't lecture me. Because the issue of drugs is an old age thing. It's an old age thing. What you couldn't do is what this government doing. You had the opportunity to bring Ellen and a bunch of rogues to justice, but you failed to do so. You refuse to do so, fellow Liberians. You fail to do so. China sentences official to death over 325 million in bribes. He received bribes. But in Liberia, people steal our money. When the president comes, he says to people, we are interrelated. Oh, my word. Oh, God, have mercy on us. Yeah. A top former official, state broadcaster CCTV says, a former vice director, you can see here, is in court, waiting to be sentenced. Between 2013 and 2003, the severe punishment underscores President Xi Jinping's anti-graft crackdown. Let me play it so you can hear it. The crackdown on corruption. A former vice director, fellow Liberians. Are we serious to fight drugs? Are we serious to fight corruption? Just listen.
President Xi Jinping's anti-graft crackdown. A Chinese court has handed down a rare death sentence to a former official on corruption charges. State broadcaster CCTV says Yang Yu-lin, a former vice director of an economic zone in the eastern city of Nanjing, was sentenced to death for taking bribes worth more than $325 million between 2013 and 2023. The severe punishment underscores the intensity of President Xi Jinping's anti-graft crackdown. A Chinese court has handed down a rare death sentence to a former official on corruption charges. State broadcaster CCTV says Yang Yu-lin, a former vice director of an economic zone in the eastern city of Nanjing, was sentenced to death for taking bribes worth more than $325 million between 2013 and 2023. The severe punishment underscores the intensity of President Xi Jinping's anti-graft crackdown. A Chinese court has handed down a rare death sentence to a former official on corruption charges. State broadcaster CCTV says Yang Yu-lin, a former vice director of an economic zone in the eastern city of Nanjing, was sentenced to death for taking bribes worth more than $325 million between 2013 and 2023. The severe punishment underscores the intensity of President Xi Jinping's anti-graft crackdown. A Chinese court has handed down a rare death sentence to a former official on corruption charges. State broadcaster CCTV says Yang Yu-lin, a former vice director of an economic zone in the eastern city of Nanjing, was sentenced to death for taking bribes worth more than $325 million between 2013 and 2023. The severe punishment underscores the intensity of President Xi Jinping's anti-graft crackdown. A Chinese court has handed down a rare death sentence to a former official on corruption charges. State broadcaster CCTV says Yang Yu-lin, a former vice director of an economic zone in the eastern city of Nanjing, was sentenced to death for taking bribes worth more than $325 million between 2013 and 2023. The severe punishment underscores the intensity of President Xi Jinping's anti-graft crackdown. A Chinese court has handed down a rare death sentence to a former official on corruption charges. State broadcaster CCTV says Yang Yu-lin, a former vice director of an economic zone in the eastern city of Nanjing, was sentenced to death for taking bribes worth more than $325 million between 2013 and 2023. The severe punishment underscores the intensity of President Xi Jinping's anti-graft crackdown. A Chinese court has handed down a rare death sentence to a former official on corruption charges. State broadcaster CCTV says Yang Yu-lin, a former vice director of an economic zone in the eastern city of Nanjing, was sentenced to death for taking bribes worth more than $325 million between 2013 and 2023. The severe punishment underscores the intensity of President Xi Jinping's anti-graft crackdown. A Chinese court has handed down a rare death sentence to a former official on corruption charges. State broadcaster CCTV says Yang Yu-lin, a former vice director of an economic zone in the eastern city of Nanjing, was sentenced to death for taking bribes worth more than $325 million between 2013 and 2023. The severe punishment underscores the intensity of President Xi Jinping's anti-graft crackdown. A Chinese court has handed down a rare death sentence to a former official on corruption charges. State broadcaster CCTV says Yang Yu-lin, a former vice director of an economic zone in the eastern city of Nanjing, was sentenced to death for taking bribes worth more than $325 million between 2013 and 2023. The severe punishment underscores the intensity of President Xi Jinping's anti-graft crackdown. A Chinese court has handed down a rare death sentence to a former official on corruption charges. State broadcaster CCTV says Yang Yu-lin, a former vice director of an economic zone in the eastern city of Nanjing, was sentenced to death for taking bribes worth more than $325 million between 2013 and 2023. The severe punishment underscores the intensity of President Xi Jinping's anti-graft crackdown.
The sentence intensify the president's anti-graft fight, not cosmetics. No, action. He'll be executed. He took $325 million in bribes, US dollars, from a city. Yeah, from a city. $325 million. Liberia, when the corporate is taken to court, you got prayer warriors, battlecrats. So who is responsible for the corruption that is permeating the country? Who's responsible? You listen to the reporter, a Chinese court, because of the intensity by a serious leader. No, in Liberia, it's a different story, fellow Liberians. You say the government should fight graft. The government should fight corruption. But in the same vein, you defend when the government go after people perceived corrupt, alleged to be corrupt. You will not give investigators the time, the court, you form opinion. Nobody is guilty until proven guilty before a competent court of jurisdiction. That man went to court. He was in court doing the sentencing. He was in court. He gets the death penalty. They will kill him. In China, you can steal. You can do anything in China. Drugs are for drugs owned in Asia. When you are caught, you own your own. When you are caught, you are on your own. A deputy director, second in command, accused of receiving bribes. He goes to court. The matter is adjudicated. He is guilty and he's going to be killed. Either by hanging or firing squad or lethal injection, whatever form the government or prosecutors wants to use or the court to execute him. Doesn't that send a message? Doesn't that send a message? But when a president comes and a government led the country for 12 freaking years, and we know the story. What did Ellen say? I will read you the letter before Thomas Woyewu died. He wrote to Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Auntie Miata family, my big sister, is wrong. Her brother is part and parcel, or was part and parcel of the carnage in our country, along with the late Amos Claudius Sawyer. Ellen is still around. She says she's 81, but people are saying that her football age. Do you really think I care about Ellen? Oh yes, I met Ellen. Madina Wisa introduced me to Ellen at her 50th birthday. She invited the family. We went there. I met Ellen that night. But it did not stop me. And Ellen loved Farouk. And when I see Emmanuel down today, I just laugh. Power. Power. And what Martha say, we'll give them the money, we'll take the power, the deputy minister for health. So this is what power can do. Give the man power, then you know him. Sam Keke Flo, good morning to you, my brother. You know, sometimes I want force with God, but I can't do it because he's the creator. He is the master of the universe, creator of mankind. I'm speaking right here. I can give up the ghost. And most time I say, people say, why you can't spare on yourself? Who told you you will not die? Are you afraid to die? You have to die to be reborn. Kear Morning Live, KML. Will reactivate the line. I told you my deputy is on a serious assignment. Tomorrow I will continue. He will be here. This is what we bring to you. If you're not having this breakfast, something is wrong. Share the podcast. Invite a friend. The sheriff is on Kear Radio. Wherever you are, to the people, D3, TV and radio, Sino, wherever you are. Kwekwe Miller, good morning to you. We'll link up because we want you to relay the show. Kwekwe Miller in Zozo used to relay Hot Morning Live, but I'm no more. That's history now. We have moved on. So, fellow Liberians, a man is sentenced $325 million in bribes. He received bribes. Bribes to give contracts. Multi-million contracts. He gets the death sentence. Our president who wants to come back, who had the opportunity to bring back, prosecute those people, Ellie and her people, to bring back the billions, hundreds of millions of dollars stolen from this country. Did Ellie not justify the corruption at Nokal? It is admitted. But because of the ambiguous law that we have in the country, that if the president is not impeached or for wrongdoing, and that president said he or she cannot go before the court of law, that is sheer nonsense. This is why our country is stuck. What sort of blanket amnesty is that? I'm asking my fellow Liberians, can this happen? Can this happen in other people's country? Ellie took blame. Ellie admitted that the penalty in the looting, she brought her 17-year-old grandson to lecture. They pay him $30,000 to come and lecture the people about oil, for God's sake. And this man came, had the opportunity to bring Ellen and her folks before the court. Even if she didn't go to court, but her surrogates should have gone to court and replenished and gave us our money. This president came and formed by executive order the assets recovery. And you have a problem when they take people to court, you take battle cry. Korea, the former first lady, for receiving gifts, she went to jail. She's in prison. The former president Park did not take physical money, but she used her influence to say, you know what? Obeda, my friend, gave Obeda the contract. They sentenced her to life. They temper mercy, justice with mercy, and took her from the prison and put her on a house arrest. She's not in prison. But that's precedent. This is precedent. People steal, people rob the country because of stealing. JFK, people can't go there and come. Maybe 40% of the people who go to JFK, 100%, maybe only 60 come back. And 40%. We know what is happening at the JFK with the Jackson Dole and all the referral hospitals around the country, even private hospitals, for God's sake. And we say we have a country. When they take people to court to prosecute them, they all come with battle cry. You insult the investigator. You go to the court. We go to the court to do what? This Chinese man embezzled $300. In fact, not invested, but he received bribes in the tune of $325 million. Are we serious about fighting corruption in our country? There is issue at the LTA now about corruption. The president should be concerned. The corruption, the head of the LSCC, Alexandra, so in the first place, she should not even be there. But she's hiding behind 10U. There's a woman who said there is probable cause to bring 4 institutions, including the Road Fund. But they are whining and dining with the people at the Road Fund. Bring it on. Let's go to court. Bring it on. Nonsense. Let's take your calls. Let's get your participation. Let's get your participation. $325 million bribes received by a former deputy in the city. And he's going to get the death sentence. They sentence him to death. That sends a message. Yeah, we don't kill people because we signed up to the Geneva Convention. Capital punishment, harsh punishment. But people should go to jail for robbing the people, shortcutting the lives of the people. When erosion taking over West Point, the beaches around the country, the coastal line, monies are not put there. They're not putting money there. They're stealing the money and they go with impunity. After 6 years, the president can't go to court to answer questions because that's what the Constitution say. Hey, my God. Let's get your thoughts. Let's get your opinion on the issue. Can this happen when you talk about fighting corruption? That is corruption fight. 077-959-959. Our Lone Star number 0881-871-670. Call. Be a participant. Let's discuss the issue. Can we fight corruption? Can we fight the issue of drugs? Can we give investigators or the court the opportunity to try these people if they are guilty, prosecuted? Do we have the moral? Can the president muster the courage? Even if his wife or his son or anybody connected to him involved, can they be prosecuted? Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Sherry.
Good morning.
Yeah, Secretary Barr, calling from Johnsonville, member of concern that run for justice. Sherry, thank you very much. Sherry, you asked a question. Can we fight corruption or can we get a question? Sherry, we say we say that the justice system in the country. We not trust it. You getting me? We not trust it that the reason we say the independent investigation and the people that are on the ground, you are requesting to President Bwaka. I don't know whether you heard our story. We are requesting to President Bwaka that the people that are arrested and the people that fought that have in the drug and they are calling other police and the police director said that the key actor they are head in the cookie jar. Then they bring to a boat and we must investigate them. Because the Liberians say they will not trust to investigate. When you investigate, the way you say we are investigate 2023, 2022, honor capture the people start go start free and the same way that sure is. So we not trust the government yet to investigate. How the Kear will investigate itself?
Thank you so much. How the Kear will investigate itself. John Tama, good to have you.
Yeah, Sherry, good morning.
Morning.
Thank you. Thank you for that repair yesterday very fast because I was receiving that signal on my radio. I said, no, it is not good. So we can fight corruption. We can fight it. But you know why? We need to start from our home first. People that call on this show, when your husband give you money, you must bring the balance money back to when you go in the market. Not to take some of the money and go buy your clothes or buy slippers. That money for food. There where corruption start from. You are set in your home, you're not perfect. So the government will fight corruption. This is why you see with the 14, people have been placed behind bar. Then you call yourself somebody that I will claim or quote unquote justice.
No, forget about the people opinion.
All right. So look, Sherry, we will fight corruption. That's something that can be eradicated completely, but it can be minimized. But remember during those days, 2018, somebody came to power, they said they will end corruption. Not new, the 14 were going to start from them. Today, their leaders have been placed, some of their leaders have been placed behind bar for stealing from the Liberian people. People that came with their hands shrinking. Some of them could barely rent, a one-bedroom apartment. Today, they got upstairs building. How did they get those money? So those are the people that are talking about one come back. Look, I let the street, how they call it, opinion pool that those guys are doing. And people are receiving a signal from there that it is not, it's so bad when you're coming back. We are not stopping you from coming back, but coming back to your country. Now, at the level of the presidency, because there will be no space.
Thank you, John. Thank you. Good morning.
Yeah. Good morning, Sheriff.
Good morning.
Thank you for taking a man from the line. You can't question my opinion.
No. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Karen.
Good morning.
Yeah, Aliu Kamara calling from 2015.
Let's hear you, Aliu.
Let me tell you something, my brother. We can't fight corruption. We just bring the government. People are calling, they don't trust the government. You trust yourself? When they go, as you are saying, the people go to the court. When they hold criminal, they get them, and then you put yourself together and say, justice. You say you tell you criminal. Even the DA people, when they can't arrest people in the community, I swear those people can go back the criminal. Those same people who are calling on our radio, their people are not fair. People don't correct. They are saying they are which are the worst people. We the citizens, we are the worst people before the government. You become criminal before you go into law. You go to the house, you become president, you become minister, you corrupt in the community. How you be the woman are calling now? Pour to somewhere. If you don't mess the play or you go and you're in arrest Finabondo, then they call another being in for the job and for CDC. I swear to God, they will go to that place and they say, Dala, now wait on. The people are wishing for their country.
Thank you. Okay, let's take this caller. Good morning.
Hello?
Good morning. No, Omar, no, we're not going to have it yet. I told you that your opinion you are expressing. So just leave John Tama. We're not going to use your Unity Party and CDC back and forth. No, please. Yeah, you're allowed to call once on a segment, not to monopolize the phone. John Tama has his right to his opinion. You got your right to your opinion. So let's keep it as that. I'm begging you. 07779599590 886-871-670. Can we fight corruption? Let's go back to the line and take this Lone Star caller. Good morning, Lone Star line. Hello.
Good morning, Rogers.
Good morning, sir.
I'm Murphy family calling from Montreal County.
Family, the Chinese authority, the court sentenced the man to death. So he's going to be killed for corruption. He received 325 million in bribes. Can it happen here, in your opinion, sir?
In my mind, it won't happen here. The reason is very simple. During this investigation about the drugs, we heard from one of the suspect of receiving bribes, and he turned the money, the $10,000 over to the police director, which is Gregory Kumon. And Gregory Kumon took 2,000 from that money and gave it to him, Johnny, who received the money, and about 8,000 left.
Gregory Kumon allegedly, I don't know that for a fact that he took money.
I said, Johnny, during this investigation, Johnny said he received the money. He received the money and turned the $10,000 from the lady and turned it over to Gregory Kumon. And in the room where they were discussing the receiving of that money, Gregory Kumon was in that room in 106 office. You getting me? Mm-hmm. So all of those investigations going about why the Gregory Kumon is not being suspended. So let me be honest.
So let me just ask you now, just because Johnny said he changed the money, is it based on that we're going to say that we must suspend the Gregory Kumon? We need facts.
Yeah, okay. The facts will come about when
until the facts come out, if it means a free man and doing his job.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
I say before the facts come out, there should be investigation put in place. But there's no investigation, and this men are suspending people around here. Because if somebody say I received bribes and turn it over to Mr. Family, I should be investigated as to whether that bribe was received by me and disobedient by me. But not that such I've been carrying on. So I'm sorry to say, my brothers from the other side, they're always defending the wrong thing.
All right, thank you so much. Everybody get a side, the blue and the green. Good morning, Mexico and Miami. Hello.
Good morning, how you doing?
I'm great.
My name is Stephen Tobacco, and I call from my brother.
Let's hear you, Stephen.
Let me say this, my brother. Corruption won't finish 100% in our country. Even in our various working places, in our local homes, corruption taking place all over there. And to the former president, he said when he came to power at the time he was running his campaign, he said he was going to fight corruption. But sad to say, when he came, he said we are all a family and we should live a family. Why would you say that? In France, probably you don't have that clip. One of the French former president, he went to jail for corruption.
Nicolas Sarkozy.
Thank you. Former president went to jail for corruption. But only in Africa, most especially West Africa, because in other African countries, this is not happening. They are jailing leaders for corruption. But only in Liberia, we overlook things. The movement
until the former president or ex-president goes to court or incarcerated, we have to go to the Constitution, because their reliance is the Constitution. So we need to do some amendment in the Constitution. There's blanket amnesty.
For sure.
We need to do away with it. Let's call for referendum. The citizens, let's push for it. Go to our lawmakers, the people who represent us. That it is not fair. Somebody come for 12 years under your stewardship. We can't investigate it. Say because when you are in office, you did not do anything. If you had done something wrong, but that's in my opinion. We're not going nowhere.
Who passed the order? Who gave this? For example, the finance minister before any money come out. Who gave the order to the finance minister? You, the president, gave the order to the finance minister. You requested for it. So even the finance minister is acting on your word.
In the case of Brandon Samoka said he was ordered by Ellen.
Thank you.
And for Ellen to go to court, they say no. Ellen can't go to court. That former president. That's nonsense. Then where are we going?
So that's what my brother. Former president, he was not a bad man. Let be frank. But that statement he used on the Clarendon football page where he said, I'm not a politician. These people brought me here because they wanted something from me. It is the same people now who called him back because there's something they called for him. They already finished. And now they are going on a prosecution. So they want to bring him back again for them to pay back. And that won't happen. So we here right now, we are not standing online for gas. We are not standing online for rest. We are not standing online for anything. Everything we want, we go to the store, buy it, and we come right back. Nobody is trying for anything.
Thank you so much. You made your point. This caller, Kear Morning Live.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
I'm calling from Douala, Ibrahim Kamara.
Let's say, good to have you, Mr. Kamara. Amplify your voice. Energize your voice. You're on the show.
Yeah. No, I just from there. The only thing I would tell my president, Boaka, is you don't marry no one day.
Hello?
Good morning, Roger.
Good morning. Oh, that caller slip. I think it's due to the. Let's get to your name and where you call us from.
Well, Roger, my name is Mohammed Donzo Fafana Jr., a prime member of Concerned Librarian for Justice. Well, Roger, I want to appreciate you this morning for your delivery, to the Librarian people. Well, Roger, sometimes I wonder on some people saying that yesterday they were standing online buying things. Can you imagine?
So what's the reality in your opinion? You want to counter that man? Are we not buying things? Are we standing in the queue to buy gas, rice, and other commodities? Counter that.
No, he's saying that people still in queue.
Hold on, Donzo. The man said that at least we're not standing in line or in queue to buy this. We can walk to the store.
But during real time, how many times people stand in queue to buy those things? How many times? And you fail to know that the war after war in crisis. In crisis with the Ukraine war and those and at that time things were very difficult. And second again,
wait, you said the Ukrainian war. When that war started?
I think it was started about 2020. I think 2022 it was started. But in the coronavirus again, the president, we are maintaining the brew of due to the coronavirus, and somebody telling me that during that time, still on.
So you don't agree with his assertion, right?
I didn't agree with him because we are still in this country due to coronavirus. The entire world was stuck.
So you want
and
to
somebody
blame,
tell me that
some of the excess you want to blame it on the coronavirus? Is that what you're saying?
Precisely, some of the essence because the entire world was stuck. No movement of people, no movement of ship and cargoes. So we are still maintaining the country. Nobody has have no different difficulties. And somebody come in and say that they have difficulties. It's so forsaken. Thank you this morning.
All right, thank you so much, Donso. In Donso's opinion, the caller is wrong because due to the challenge from the COVID, the president kept the country stable. But the caller said, well, let's go back to line 3. This caller, good morning, Kear Morning Live. Oh, callers back. As always, our WhatsApp number, if you're in the diaspora, you want to participate, +231 777 959 959. That is our WhatsApp number. 0777 959 959. 0881-871-670. Kear Morning Live on a Tuesday morning. We're talking about graft, fighting corruption. But how can we fight corruption when somebody is already corrupt in the community? He or she becomes senator or representative. Can Monkey leave his black hair? That's the question. Can Monkey leave his black hair? Monkey can leave black hair. So the monkey, you can't do that. The banana, it will continue to steal. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good, sir. Good to have you on the show. Kear Morning Live.
Yeah, Rogers, thank you for the show this morning. I'm calling from Monterrado. Let me be honest with you. Corruption is embedded in our society, even at our government level. Can you imagine the president? I'm sorry to mention the president, but that reference him. The president was interviewed on ERBC radio and about the Kear project. He said that project started. He never knew about it. And the projects were funded by Liberian people, taxpayer money. Today, we have not getting any information as to which one of the agencies in government or ministry in government are contributed towards that project. So, like for instance, the corruption, where the corruption will start when the president gave you order maybe to carry on the kind of unseen project or unrealistic project, when the president instruct you to maybe contribute maybe $10, then you who contributed the $10, you go make it $15. So that's where the corruption is start from, because the president already sanctioned you to make contribution of $10, and then you went, you making a contribution of $10, you went, you make it $15. You took the $5. So corruption will always be embedded in our country, my brother. Even this government, they have done a lot of things that they have made no clarity on. I mean, corruption is bad, but we need to fight it from in our homes. You get me? Mm-hmm. But corruption is entrenching into our societies.
Okay. Thank you so much, bro. All right, keep your calls coming to 0777 959 959 and be a part of the show. We're discussing on a Tuesday morning. A former official in the city in China gets the death sentence for receiving bribes in the tune of $325 million. In our country, when people are accused to go and exonerate themselves, support us, we go with battle cry. They print placards with inscription on it. So they form opinion, or we form opinion. This person is not guilty, that person is guilty. But in China, in other serious countries, this would never happen. When people are prosecuted, if they're found guilty and sent to prison for years, it will send a message. Let's take this caller, Mr. Realist. Let's get your thoughts from Front Street.
How are you, sir, my Front Street brother?
I'm good. Let's hear you.
So I continue to say what we always doing, we play phone in this country here, because by the time they talk about your government taking something and then you a bagger, all those guys are coming from the United Party end. Why they try to really be scared? That's what I want to know. They talk about what happened, whether corruption was feeling, but they talk about it, then they go to CDC. So at the end, they create argument. CDC people report them. and they will continue to say they want to showcase. At the end, we will not do anything better for ourselves. Our leaders will continue to see corruption will not stop because we fight among ourselves. Instead of being one, to say one voice to go against not to go against, but to fight the corruption, to ask our leaders to fight corruption to the extent that we will be able to at least minimize it. Instead of that, we make it argument until we understand our reason of owning this country. The corruption will still be here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Kear Morning Live on the People Station, navigating to you from the slum of Suniwe to the top of the executive mansion. Corruption, we all need to fight corruption. Like somebody said, you gave your wife, corruption starts from the home. You gave the woman money for 1 week or a month to maintain the house. In less than a week, she comes back and say, oh, the money you gave me a finish. The money finished. So can we fight corruption? Line 4, David Harris, good to have you on the show, bro.
The Fearless. Thanks for your unique program. And I call from Benson Street this morning, David E. Harris. Thanks for the recognition also. But let me say this, Sherry. I was just playing a listening role this morning. But once we as a Liberian decide to have a deep division when it comes to party politics, and we not prioritize the interests of this country, it seems to be very difficult. We'll have to put aside our party politics, our feeling, our emotion when it comes to politics, and put our country first. Let us think as patriotic Liberians and try to. Corruption cannot be eradicated totally, but we can minimize it. As Sherry just stated, it is only country that in the West can ensure that they come down on you, corrupt officials, and they hate you to the core and prosecute you. But in our country, once someone is being allegedly accused and they've been taken to court or convicted, when we feel that they from the CDC or from the Unity Party and will go there and heal them and be chanting battle cry that will think directly outside the box. We have to stop this. We have to prioritize our country. When an official is allegedly accused of a crime and they are sent to court, they are charged and forwarded or convicted, let us stand by our country and ensure that person is prosecuted to the court and come for whatsoever they took from our country.
Let me reference, David, just stay on the line. I hope I'm not...
no problem, Sheriff.
Okay, so let's make reference to the Mateo Parker case.
Yeah.
And we are not saying that when you are accused, you are guilty.
No,
the law does not say that you are presumed innocent
until you
are proven guilty of the crime
in the code of competent jurisdiction.
Okay, so no matter what we say in the code of public opinion, as the head of the code of public opinion, no matter what we say here, sometimes it shift, sometimes it plays on the defense or prosecution, right? But we cannot, our opinion does not bring a guilty verdict or not guilty verdict on those individuals that have been tried. Now, you remember the Mateo Parker case?
I remember, Sherry.
A colleague of mine, the first day Madam Parker walked in that court with the late Christiana Parker Pele, my colleague said while climbing the stairs, said, she turned around, look at this corrupt woman.
Look at that.
Look at this corrupt woman. In fact, they will bring a guilty verdict on you. So I turned around and said, are you the judge now?
That was wrong.
Are you not a journalist?
Out of the public was
and
wrong,
this individual reports for a serious newspaper in the country. And guess what? The day Madam Parker and Christiana Parker paid the late. Do you know that because of that case, that woman died?
Yeah,
even though she was a judge not guilty?
Yeah, sure.
You could see the day the judge handed down the opinion of Peter Benny. The rapture in court. 4 years they kept that woman in court. Ellen did not take her to court because she stole. Ellen wanted to disgrace her. Ellen said, you just carry her to South Beach, you put a cup in your tail or patient to damage her character. Impeccable character. The woman who she honored Mateo Parker as one of the best serving in the government.
Sure. So Sherry, in short, We as a Liberians should be patriotic. We should stand by our country, not individual, not political party. Thank you for the show.
Thank you so much, David E. Harris. As always, keep your calls coming. And muchos gracias. In Spanish, we say muchos gracias. Thank you so much. Gracias. Thank you. Signori, signora, ladies and gentlemen, this is the platform. This is the breakfast you call for. And I'm here to serve you as a sheriff. Patriotism, my comrades, my fellow patriots, fellow Liberians. Where do we want to take our country? We, the people, can make a change. We have another opportunity. The president, the former president said he's coming back. Where is he coming from? What is he coming for? These are the questions we need to ask ourselves. Because the man said, I am not a politician. That these people, one of the caller made reference, that these people brought me because they wanted something. And the other caller said, maybe they think they came for a finish and they want to come back again. They want to come back again, fellow Liberians. So where are we taking our country? We, the people, are responsible. When Daniel Rogers is accused, allow him to go to court and convince the juror or the judge. If it's a bench trial, the judge becomes the judge and the prosecutor or the juror. So it is we the people, we have to learn. We quick to forget and hard to learn. Imagine other people's country. Brani Samoka was taken to court. Brani Samoka said it was Eli who instructed him, the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of Liberia, instructed him to use the soldier people money, the airfare people. But Eli did not go to court. It's forbidden for a former president to go to court that the Constitution. Let's Dara Dillon, Senator Dillon, good morning to you. I'm calling on serious senators. Let us do amendment. Councillor Pierre Brambu, Councillor a framer, a writer, one of those who wrote the Constitution, the 1986 Constitution, along with Amos Sawyer, peace to his soul. This country deserves better. We cannot give a blanket amnesty to people who lead our country. We're not going to know how they plundered this country. We're not going to know. So we, the people, need to emancipate ourselves from this corruption. We, the people, we must put down our political garment and say, you know what? To hell with CDC, to hell with ANC, to hell with Unity Party. It's about Liberia. And when we start to think, like somebody said, there are more good people than bad people. The people who are looting our country, they are less a minute portion. But I say to you, fellow Liberians, on this Tuesday presentation, people get ready. A new day. If you listen to the songwriter, people get ready. There's a new day coming where everybody will be free, where it will be a better day for you and me. Mr. President, let me remind you, Your Excellency Joseph Yoman Boaka, even if you don't listen to the radio, your folks, you got people listening to the radio or watching. Wherever you are this morning, having your breakfast, some homes people can't afford. We're not asking you to give us food. We are asking you for the condition. Create that enabling environment that people will enjoy in our country. That we can go to JFK, the license machine will be there. It's just 20,000. If the government say we can put $5 million, we put $5 million in the budget to buy the dialysis machine with people who have kidney complication, liver disease. You put $5 million in the recast budget, the yellow machine, to take yellow machine out of. Oh my God, when people are dying before JFK, when Redemption Hospital don't have, you can, who will be like Michael Foley, for God's sake, George? My madam, who will be like Michael Foley? We have said there's times of our numbers. Where is the patriotism that somebody said, the president said he has 42 years of experience. We're going 3 years. In the blink of an eye, we'll clock 3 years under this administration. But today, what a shame. Look at Ghana, they got metro. Look at the, my God. They talk about building new city. You think corruption are in Ghana? Of course. Most time we say it can't happen in Ghana, but I say I will tell you that the Chief Justice was impeached, incarcerated. I will bring that to you. A lot of things happen in other people's country because we don't read, we don't watch movies, we don't documentary. I mean, we are lazy. There are bad things going on in Ghana. But when you are caught, you will be prosecuted. You will face the consequence of your action. In Liberia, no. Because of partisan politics. The blue and the green. The blue and the green, fellow Liberians. We are inching towards the segment where we bring you the front, back, and inside page of the newspapers or the local dailies. The people in Douala Market, Loking Town, Red Light, wherever you are, times are hard. Everybody going crazy. Your Excellency, you swore to an oath, and let me repeat to you, let me say what you said on that fateful day, that I, Joseph Human Boyka, do solemnly swear that I will uphold, I will defend, bear true faith and allegiance not to Jojo, not to Katumu, not to your friends, Mamaka Belete, aka Yellow Machine, but to the Republic, the people, the masses. That's what you took oath for. Conscientiously, impartially. There was a guy called J.M.A., Internal Affairs Minister, or Home Affairs Security. When he got to conscientiously, he stick. He said, Totman said, you guy embarrassing me. He stuck. So you said conscientiously, impartially to discharge the duty and function to the office to the best of my ability. It is because of your ability that the people of Liberia gave you 6 years. George, they gave you 6 years, fellow Liberians. You need to perform beyond expectation. Nobody said there's perfection. Nobody is perfect. Even the great United States, the greatest democracy around the world, there is no perfection. But you cannot be cosmetics when it comes to fighting corruption in the country. No matter where it leads. No matter where. If it's before your doorstep, nip it in the bud. Bring people to justice. George, bring people to justice, fellow Liberians. This is how you fight corruption. Not being selective. Kear Morning Live on the People's Station. We're going to take a break. We're going for the local dailies. It's a regular feature here on the People's Station. This is Kear Morning Live, for short KML. Time check is 60 minutes going up to the hour. We'll bring you the councils for Samuel Twa and others filed a motion for retrial. And this August term of court, the case will return for trial. Twa and others, the case goes back after juror tempering, but the case, that filing was done before the issue of juror tempering came up, and it was scheduled to be heard on the 19th when the issue of juror tempering came up. So it's Kear Morning Live. We'll read it for you. Then I want you to sit back. I want us to defeat the lies of Miata family. Miata family is blaming Mr. Taylor for the carnage and the deaths of 250,000 people. But we're sharpening that contradiction. We're not insult Miata. She's a mother. The families are very educated. It is not up for debate. But when you feel lies, falsehood, you want to accuse somebody's father for the carnage in Liberia, you, your brother, you people mingle with Ellie and you destroy this country. That is why I want to discuss. Let's go for the local dailies. Regular feature here on your station. And the time check is 30 minutes going up to 9 o'clock here morning live. Let's bring you the local dailies, the Front Page Africa ever since. The Front Page Africa, the Democrat newspaper, the Independent, the Inquirer newspaper, the Oracle News Daily. We also have the Oracle News. The Improfile Daily is also here, and the New Dawn newspaper.
is the love for those who weep. We're standing here, we're broken deep. Oh, Liberia, can't you hear? Corruption is killing my country, dragging us down.
Corruption is killing my country, produced by Abraham Parker. Corruption is bringing us down on our bended knees. When will this suffering end? The suffering of the masses end? Who's going? Who's that Messiah? We don't know. 2029 is unfolding. People are discussing 2020. Now let's bring you this mention. Then we'll talk about the quote. A few minutes about the original countrymen. The Liberia Electricity Corporation, or LEC, is pleased to inform the public that it is collaborating with Synex for the implementation of the smart metering program. The initial phase of this program will be carried out in Painsville and its associated feeders. As part of the process, joint teams from LEC and Synex will begin conducting community engagement activities and customer data collection within the targeted areas. The smart meter comes with several advanced features, including geofencing technology or fencing technology. The meter automatically shuts down and can no longer work if it is removed from its register and installed location. Temper alert system. The meter automatically sends SMS alert to LEC, Synex, and the customer whenever tampering is detected. Automatic token loading. Customers no longer need to manually enter token codes. When you purchase your electricity, as credit is loaded automatically onto the meter. GPS tracking capability. The meter can be located through its GPS system, identifying its location when stolen. Following the customer data collection exercise, the meter exercise, LEC and Synex will commence the replacement and installation of smart meters. Customers who currently have a meter, possess proof of payment for a meter, or whose meter was previously stolen with evidence, will have their meters replaced free of charge. Customers without existing meter records will have their information collected and will be required to pay the applicable connection fees to be connected. For additional information, please contact the LEC's customer care hotline 4500 or visit the LEC head office, Waterside, Monrovia, or call 0778 498 389. This information was brought in management by the Management Liberia Electricity Corporation, or LEC. Kear Morning Live on the People Station, navigating to you from the slump of So let's well, because of time, we will not go to the quote, because I want to read you the letter so you Liberian people know that what Miata Famune said is not true about Charles Taylor. Charles Taylor did not orchestrate. Charles Taylor was brought on because they were looking for somebody to execute their mission. Ellen, Amos Sawyer, Famule, and the rest of those individuals who destroy our country. But let's bring you justice to those who are following. James Davis, good morning, brother. And following from Hasse, Pennsylvania, USA. Sylvester, good morning, Chief. Brooks Dennis, following from Grand Crew this morning. Good morning, Daddy. David E. Harris, good morning. Daniel Rogers, the Fearless, I'm following live from Benson Street, Monrovia. Bill Rogers, you are living life here. You are living life here. I'm enjoying how you are teaching us how to live in Liberia. With 2 automobiles, you are living well, manageable lifestyle. Do you rent one? It's a big question. But to tell you now, Bill Rogers, I have changed. I use my Pathfinder, turn it into pickup because we're into coal business. Yeah, we do coal business. So turn it into pickup where we go around getting coal, buy coal to sell. Al Ahaji Aska Ahmed, good morning to Tough Talking Obed Jiba and the voice, the fearless sheriff following from the abandoned and free vacancy D17 come 2029. District 17 has a vacancy. So DJ Blues, the people say come 2029 he will no longer be like the people talking District 7. District 7, they say they will also remove their representative. James Davis, keep doing what you are doing and great job. Bill Rogers, good morning, Mr. Daniel Rogers. Comfort David, why Bwaka came back 45 years and 12 years in government. Well, the President Bwaka served as vice president. Now, if we want to rate him now, it will be from his stewardship now. Okay, James, you guys are monopolizing too many. So we can't continue with this. So, okay. So, but it's Kear Morning Live. Thanks to you. Share the video wherever you are. And this is KML on the People Station. Labor Ministry decision validates or vindicates the principle Senator Dillon has long championed. Liberian jobs must come first, okay? In connection to the Ministry of Labor, the ministry said that Liberians should be given the opportunity. They should be given the opportunity, not giving jobs to people. So, Ante Miata family, there's this debate between Ian Yak and Wema family. Wema family sister accused, look, y'all leave our foreign minister alone. There are very few people in this country who try to build the image of the country. Y'all want criminals, those who don't have moral, going after the Minister of Foreign Affairs. People who love moral and integrity. But again, the society is gullible, so people discuss it. But if I were you, you will not discuss our foreign minister. You don't know her. And she is recognized. She sits with diplomats, with prime ministers, with ministers. Presidents. Leave our prime minister out, our foreign minister out of your drugs business. Move her from there. Because you people want the government to manufacture evidence. Where there is no evidence, the Minister of Foreign Affairs will be involved. The person, they will call the person name. So you people need to be invited. Renassier should be invited. Maybe he have evidence. All of those who are accusing the government, the government are bringing the repo. But who are the right people? Since you people know the repo, you bring them. You assist the government. Kear Morning Live, 14 minutes past the hour. Now, you see, when we start to bring good people, people who are established, people who have worked for their money, bring them to the capital. I'm not talking about in the executive. I'm not talking about the judiciary. But we who stand in the queue, those people we vote for, use our pen to hire them. We need to bring serious people. People who are well established, who work for the money, who wants to help, who wants to make decisions for the Liberian people, are the kind of people we should go for. But you will elect corrupt people, murderers, drugs peddler. If you elect a man selling drugs, you take him to the Capitol building, what is he going to do there? You elect somebody who been stealing or rob, what is that person going to do? And this is what we're doing. We'll go from district to district and talk to the people. As we approach 2029, people are talking about the original countrymen. I went to the district and I've seen the level of work that this man is doing. And so when you take a well-established individual to the capital, he or she knows they're not going for money. They already have money. They're not hustler. You take somebody who can't even rent, can't afford to pay for apartment, maybe $30, single one-room apartment. You take him to the Capitol building. All he or she goes for is to steal. It's to steal, rob the people. So we hope that this 2029, serious people like the original countrymen, because I have spoken, I've seen the projects, I've gone there independently on my own assessment, independent assessment, and I've seen what that man is doing in District 11 and out of District 11. Help the man to help you. Take him to the Capitol to make decisions to benefit you. Not people who broke, people who don't even have food to eat. They don't have place to stay. You take them to the Capitol only because I let a man. Politics and governance is not like, oh, I will vote for President Bwaka, then Kennedy. Oh, the man get 42 years experience. 42 years experience, where is the reality? Where is it? Where is it, fellow Liberians? So Miata family accused former President Charles Taylor of being responsible. But of course, Miata will accuse the former president, because Miata has a link to Sierra Leone. Miata has a link to Sierra Leone. The families and the Sawyers, of course, they are from Sierra Leone. So Miata will accuse Mr. Taylor. Miata will accuse Mr. Taylor that Mr. Taylor is responsible for the war. How? The whole crisis, Miata family say that Mr. Taylor is responsible for it. How? Fellow Liberians, how is it possible for Mr. Taylor to be responsible for the carnage in Liberia? Hypocrisy. Her brother, they are part and parcel. Mr. Famula said his father was incarcerated, Famula Senior. And so he had no regret of his participation in the war. He had no regret for his participation in the war. Then his sister comes and says to the Liberian people that Mr. Taylor is responsible for what happened in Sierra Leone. But she's not talking about the carnage, the mayhem, those who sponsor the war against the people of Liberia. We all know about the 1985 invasion, the Kwampa, it came to Sierra Leone. But those are issues we don't want to discuss. Ellen Johnson and likes. Ellen is responsible for Taylor to be in prison today. If Ellen wanted Taylor to be free before she died, Taylor will be free. You see, fellow Liberians. So let me bring you the letter written to Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Wood's letter to Mrs. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf on July 29, 2005. Wood's letter to Mrs. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Let me read the letter. Set back 90 minutes past the hour. I hope we'll have the time to read it fervently and you just analyze it. Miata family is blaming Mr. Taylor for the war in Sierra Leone and the war brought on the Liberian people. Miata family. And Ian Yag and Wama family, they are going back and forth. Who's to be blamed? So Ian Yag said it was a walk in the park. Mr. Taylor did not orchestrate or formulated the war. It was already in making. Then they brought Mr. Taylor. For those of you who don't know, please, fellow Liberians, sit back and let the sheriff take you through on Kear Morning Live, KNL. He writes, Dear Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, I write this letter to first compliment you for finally mustering the courage to apologize to the Liberian people for the careless and deadless statement you made on the BBC in 1990 while prosecuting the second and Taylor-led evasion of MPFL wars. You said, quote, Level Monrovia. You said, quote, Level Monrovia. This is a letter written by the late Thomas Wewu. You said, quote, most of you people are young. Most of you people don't have access to get this kind of communication. You said on the BBC, I write this letter to first compliment you for finally mustering the courage to apologize to the Liberian people for the careless and deadly statement you made on the BBC in 1990 while prosecuting the second and Taylor-led evasion of MPFL wars. You said, quote, Level Monrovia. We will rebuild it and not level the executive mansion as contained in your statement of apology, falsehood practiced by Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. I'm not a writer, I'm a talker. So Ellen lied. In the opinion of Thomas Wewu, Ellen lied. She said on the BBC, Level Monrovia, the city Monrovia, we will rebuild it. But when she apologized to the Liberian people, fellow Liberians, come closer. Get closer. Put it loud. Just increase the volume in your community. I'm sure that you in the communities, you are watching and you're listening. And it's important to know to disabuse the minds of the people because of the lies told by Miata family, my own big sister. This is how we bring her to her knees. Not to insult her. So he said, Ellie said, Level Monrovia, not the executive mansion. If you truly, you see what he said? Level the executive mansion as contained in your statement of apology. As you said, you regret making what you now term as a stupid comment. If you truly regret making a statement that resulted into the death or in the death of thousands of your fellow countrymen and women, why replace it now with a false one? If your apology is genuine, and it comes from the bottom of your heart, why will you not apologize for saying on the BBC that level Monrovia and not level the executive mansion? So if you come to apologize, you should not lie to the Liberian people. This was the voice of the late Thomas Wewu. I'm also writing this letter to refresh your memory about other reckless and deadly statements you made in the past that must be included in your apology if you are honest in seeking forgiveness from the Liberian people whom you are also seeking to rule. Where we wrote this letter, because early in 2005, Ellie was seeking to rule the people. She wanted to be president, la présidente of the Republic of Liberia. Oh, fellow Liberians, you need to know the fact. You need to know the fact that Ellie, in the first place, in her apology to the Liberian people, she said, according to Thomas Wewu, she said that, hey, level Monrovia and not level the executive mansion. So Ellie is not serious to apologize to the Liberian people. Your level of involvement. First, let us clarify the matter of what level involvement and part you play in the funding of the National Patriotic Fund of Liberia, NPFL, and the prosecution of its wars. 26 minutes past the hour. I'm the sheriff. I owe it to the Liberian people with no cause, no strings attached. This is my passion. This is the tenacity I bring. I love Mama Liberia. Your level of involvement first. Let us clarify the matter of what level of involvement and part you played in the funding of the National Patriotic Front of Liberia, or NPFL, and the prosecution of its wars. The Kwangpa failed coup in 1985. The invasion led by Charles Taylor Wood started in December of 1989. As you know, the NPFL organization was the same, but operated with different foot soldiers. In each version, honor your stewardship, as we will see later in this letter. Your position in that organization, especially the Taylor version, was not as petty, as limited as you continue to describe it to have been. You fully participated. Frenchmen say petit, petit Paris, small, petit. So it was not a petty decision or position you had. You executed, you embedded. Your position in that organization, especially the Taylor version, was not as petty and as limited as you continue to describe to have been. Level Monrovia, we will rebuild it. Could you have come, could Une have come from the rear head of state and commander-in-chief whose army was the NPFL, as you saw yourself? You issued the order and it was executed. It included the notorious Autopos, 1992. The notorious Autopos, which finally wrecked Monrovia. 15 years have gone by and Monrovia is still without water and electricity during the course of this period. You were the second most powerful person in the United Nations Development Program, or UNDP. But zero came to Liberia by way of your influence, even though you are influential. But nothing came to Liberia, and we Liberians gave this woman 12 years. This letter was written before, reminding Liberians, but many of you did not see the letter, for God's sake. So you hailed Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. You gave her the first 6 years. You gave her another 6 years. If you have read this letter to know the wheelings and dealings and the hypocrisy of a woman who is so respected around the world, Kear Morning Live. But zero came to Liberia by way of your influence. You even undermined the promotion and employment of qualified Liberians in that UN organization during your tenure. For now, I will leave your UN record to speak for itself. Even people with potential, educated Liberians were denied employment in the UNDP. So the late Tom Woyi said, I will leave it for now. Let's forget about your UN record. Let's move to the reality. Preparation for evasion. My first trip to Ivory Coast, meaning Thomas Wewu. My first trip to Ivory Coast to meet with Charles Taylor, Harry Nua, Moses Topu, and others to assess the level of military plan of action for the purpose of removing Doe was sponsored by you and others in the wake of the failed Kwangpa coup, in which you play a major role. So he was sent to meet Mr. Taylor, so the war will be executed. At the time, you were personally supporting Harry Nua in a rapid recruitment of his fellow Nibarians, and Clarence Simpson, who was supporting Moses Topu. The late Councillor Badier and others in Ivory Coast to launch another armed attack on the Doe regime following the Butcher Kwangpa coup. If you can recall, after my first visit to the Ivory Coast, the three men split up in search of a possible training base and support. Topu went to Nigeria, Harry Nua went to Senegal, and Taylor went to Burkina Faso. It was Taylor who first found the possible avenue to accomplish the mission. Fellow Liberians, come together. You need to know this. We hail criminals. 9:30 is the time. We got 25 more minutes to be sitting here and having breakfast, a cup of coffee. Sit on your couch, wherever you are, on your yacht, whatever you're doing. Pay attention. Lend me your ears. With your knowledge and support again, I went to Burkina Faso to ascertain the truth, to tell us clean that he had found the ultimate opportunity to train men for another attempt to remove the Dole regime by force of arm. The sponsors, especially Thomas Sankara, wanted to know that there was a political support from armed rebellion by surveillance to remove the Dole's military junta. With your knowledge and consent, I gave the sponsor the assurance they needed to kick off the process of recruitment and training. This is the woman we hail, the Nobel Peace Prize laureate. She won the Nobel Peace Prize. Fellow Liberians, I'm sitting here. My brother died. Your father died. Your mother died. Your unborn women were pregnant. And the pregnancy was aborted because of Ellen lost for power. Upon my arrival in the United States, I went straight to your sister house on Long Island where you were living. While we were discussing the issue of Taylor leading this round of armed rebellion, Barronta arrived. When you told him what you were putting Taylor up to, he was totally opposed on the ground that Taylor was corrupt. He gave in only when you asked him if he had any other visible alternative, given that you people had tried more than 10 times to get rid of Dole but failed. I hope you are listening. More than 10 times they tried to remove Dole, but there was no answer. So we needed alternative to execute the carnage on the Liberian people. That Taylor came in the picture. The Libyan connection. You accepted and agreed to create. You accepted and agreed to create a political alliance to replace the junta. Since you could not go to Tripoli, Libya, during the training of the men and the planning stage, you appointed a special envoy, Mr. Harris A. Greaves Jr., for reasons not necessary to be stated here. Neither you nor Mr. Greaves even wanted to go to Tripoli, but you stay abreast of the progress of the training until it was completed. And we all know the story, the rest of the story of Harry Greaves, who was murdered. He was during the regime of Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Nobody knows who killed Harry Greaves. Following the training of the men, and while they were waiting in the diaspora, you and I met with Taylor in Paris, where you promised to arrange for a ship to drop the men in Liberian waters from the Sierra Leone side. There was also talk about you arranging with President Momo of Sierra Leone for the offensive to be launched from Chebro Island. I believe, relying on that, Taylor went to Sierra Leone to follow up, and he will be followed up in jail. He will end up in jail. He ended in jail. What a way to greet your general or to treat your general. Major involvement at the beginning of the war. Fellow Liberians, come closer. A meeting of all the political stakeholders was held in the home of Mr. Taylor Major, Virginia, USA, in February or March of 1990. We demanded the meeting because we suspected that you were holding back from the other politicians as to political alliance that was expected to be formed by you as was agreed upon in the beginning. At the meeting, Dr. Sawyer and others were surprised and angry because you had kept them in the dark for more than 2 years. Dr. Sawyer was particularly angry and vocal. Following a long, hectic discourse from the beginning of the meeting, it was generously agreed by the participants that the alliance would take form and provide the political plan of action to be put in place when the regime was disposed. But we discovered later on that political alliance never took place because of your personal ambition to directly assume power when the regime was removed. Following that meeting at the home of Taylor Mayer in Virginia, USA, you invited me to another meeting with Clarence Simpson and Taylor Mayer in the home of the late Mr. Chris Maxwell. We spent the whole night with the four of you trying to convince me to agree that we would forget about the alliance idea and let the government be given to the Liberian Action Party because the party won the 1985 elections. I said it was very bad. It was a very bad idea. I maintain that these were the very steps or types of maneuverings that always destroy all of our efforts in the past. A secret meeting with Charles Taylor and Jackson Doe's disappearance a few months after the meeting in Virginia. In my absence, you went to the war front at Bopley, Nima County, where the NPFL still had its headquarters, and told Charles Taylor and other leaders of the organization that you and I had agreed that the government would be given to the Liberian Action Party once the Doe regime was disposed. Upon my arrival at that forest headquarters, I was confronted with a court-martial of a life-threatening nature for supposedly selling out the revolution in advance while others were still fighting and dying. Only God and my friendship with Taylor saved me. I was able to walk away with my life. While the people were fighting, anyone wanted power to form government. I've always wondered as to what this careless and selfish statement of yours had to do with how Jackson Doe ended up when he crossed over to NPFL land. Did those people seek Jackson Doe or see Jackson Doe as the lap you wanted the government to turn over to? How come Jackson Doe's disappearance was never really a big concern of yours until lately? When Jackson Doe crossed over from Finland to Kakata in mid-1990, I was in Sierra Leone at a peace conference. Taylor told me it was a big day of jubilation in Greater Liberia. To let you know he was well, that he had been given a nice and fitting home in Buchanan. A month or so later, Jackson could not be found. I did not hear of your courage or outrage as you were in the level Monrovia. We will rebuild it mood. Say something to the Jackson F. Doe family. Oh, fellow Liberians. Your breakaway from the NPFL was not so much on account of what happened to your colleagues as you claim. You know, I know. And some of your people know that it was about your determination to take power directly from the war front. By late 1990, the NPFL controlled 90% of Liberia. At one of the peace talks in Sierra Leone, it was agreed by all politicians, and an agreement was signed that the NPFL should form an interim government and call for elections as soon as possible. The only exception was that Taylor should not lead that interim government, that he should run for president if he wanted to. Taylor asked me to go to Washington and convince you for us to convene an all-Liberian conference in Greater Liberia to determine the issue of who should head the next government. I spent a week in Washington. You invited several persons to the meeting. They include Dr. Gawier McIntosh, Dr. Edward Clinton, Dr. Baron Tarr, who was then working in Lesotho. Drs. Clinton and McIntosh and I made it to the Ivory Coast in anticipation of your arrival for us to proceed to Liberia. A double-crossing back scratching while waiting for your arrival in the Ivory Coast. You called to say that the venue of the meeting had been changed to Banjul, the Gambia. Quote, I found out later that after I left, you had another meeting with some people, including Randolph Cooper, who then represented NPFL in the U.S. at the home of Herbert Cooper. At that gathering, you masterminded a petition to President Jawara of the Gambia to host the meeting. Rana, not realizing that this was a double cross, signed the document on behalf of the NPFL. Dr. Gawier Clinton and I advise that you come with us to meet with Taylor and the men so that we could convince them to move the meeting to Banjul, since you said this was what the African leaders wanted. You refused in anger. Dr. Gawier continued his journey to Greater Liberia and helped to form the National Patriotic Reconstruction Government. And Clinton returned to Ethiopia. You thought that the Banjul meeting would have given the government to you as the sole heir of the Liberian Action Party. When it did not appear likely, you decided to skip the meeting. From a distance in Washington, D.C., you did the next best thing, which was to maneuver to give the interim leadership to Moose. Amos Sawyer, Liberians say. You scratch my back, I will scratch your back. It should not be a surprise that Moose is scratching your back today with his support for your presidency despite your history. So because Ellen approved Amos Sawyer to be the interim government in the Liberian parlance, or Liberians say, you scratch my back, I scratch your back. So since you made him interim president, them yata formally accuse you of unleashing George Weah on us, the former president. It's the same thing you did to Amos Sawyer. You scratch my back, I scratch your back. It should not be a surprise that Moose is scratching your back today with his support for your presidency despite your history. Your financial contributions to the war efforts. Let me refresh your memory on the financial contributions to the Taylor war efforts from you and your sources. 25,000 United States dollars was the initial amount by your consortium, Clarence Simpson and Taylor Mayer, when the war started. I'm the founding chairman of the Association for Constitutional Democracy of Liberia, ACDL. I do not recall any of the two persons named above being members. I do not also remember any money coming to the NPFL from the ACDL. What I recall is that you asked me to let Dr. Sawyer take over the ACDL so that he would revise it, since he was doing nothing. I did. Yet you kept saying that you and some ACDL friends made contribution to the NPFL. Come to think about it, maybe the money you gave one time came from ACDL. That says even what became the Doctors Club also supported your NPFL war efforts. Let me not forget the 1,000 contribution that you passed to Mr. Allen Brown Sr., who was then running an insurance business in the Ivory Coast. You had earmarked the money specifically to buy rice for the fighting men. It was done. Another 1,000 was contributed by some of your friends and delivered to Dew Mason, Herbert Cooper, and Emmanuel Shaw to be forwarded to the NPFL. If you recall, those bad boys ate the money and they were only able to recover 1,000 of it 6 months later. Needless to mention your other undocumented financial and personal contributions made before and during the wars. The trip to Paris by you and me to meet with Charles Taylor must have cost you a pretty penny. Several trips you made to the Liberian border to meet with Taylor and the fighting men should add up to a substantial sum. Monies you gave Taylor in Paris and on each of the trips you made to the front line should also be far substantial. A conservative estimate of your contribution to the NPFL should be about $500,000 United States dollars. How do you manage to reduce that to 1,000 is perhaps one of your stupid comments. But I hope that this letter clears it up for the public. Other overdue apologies. The account of events above should clarify your involvement and contribution to the 2 NPFL wars. The following are other events that involve series of your careless and stupid comments and behavior that you must include in your apology to your fellow Liberians if you wish to be taken seriously. Kear Morning Live. Between 1983 and 1987, I was president of the Union of Liberian Associations in the Americas, ULAA. 1988 to 1990, I was chairman of the board of ULA. It was I who invited you to Philadelphia to deliver the keynote address during our annual conference in 1984, when you called the president and officials of government in the Doe regime as a bunch of fools and idiots. Another one of your series of stupid comments with a Harvard degree, I'm sure you could have said the same thing without using those street words. To make the point, Liberians should be able to report the financial, emotional, and human lives it costs to free you from that lion's den, says Sari. In an effort to get you out of the country following the court proceeding against you for the fools and idiots comment, friends and supporters of yours arranged your secret exit out of the Buchanan. In the process, the immigration officer named Jackson, who assisted you to leave through Buchanan, killed himself so as to avoid the cruel death that awaited him at the hands of the Doe Death Squad. Have you ever met to console the family of that poor man who gave you his life for you? Who gave his life for you? To this day, more than 20 years later, you have not shown any appreciation for his ultimate sacrifice. Something as simple as looking for his wife and children and consoling them who have gone a long way. Very costly, stupid, and inhuman behavior, says Sari. In 1985 or so, the Massachusetts chapter of Yola honored the leadership of Dr. John Guppy, arranged a rally and meeting at Northeastern University, quote, along with other officials of Yola and the Liberian community around the United States. Attended that conference to hear our most famous leaders speak. During the question and answer period of the program, a young man made a brief statement and asked a question which went like this. Mrs. Johnson Salif, no situation is permanent in life. I used to be a wheelbarrow boy in Liberia, and today I'm graduating from Northeastern University this summer. When you were Minister of Finance, we wrote you a letter and you stamped it. We don't want to repeat that. And you stamped it, and we all know, and sent it back to us. When you became president, the fellow continued. Would you tolerate the views of others without calling them? The fellow asked, to my and the dismay of the entire audience. Your answer was yes. When I was Minister of Finance, I had a stamp which had on it. During that time, if someone sent me some communication I did not like, quote, I will stamp it and send it back to them. In fact, someone told me recently that you also sent such a stamped letter to Bacchus Matthew back then. Is there any amount of apology that you can give to your fellow citizens for such an insulting and demonizing treatment? You need to honestly apologize to the wheelbarrow boys and to all of your fellow citizens whom you insulted with your stamp. Immediately following the 1997 elections, you declare your intentions not to recognize President Charles Taylor. In a childish, tatimon manner, you ran out of the country. In President Taylor's words, like a cat or like a caught dog, a tailed dog, leaving the thousands who had risked their lives to campaign and vote for you to defend their lives. You got speech from those of your partisans who made it to the national legislature because they refused to boycott the government to which they were elected by the people in defense of your childish demand. Apologize to them and your fellow Liberians for such uncivilized behavior. Promise your current supporters that you will not run away again when you lose this election, which is sure. We could go on and on and on and on. But I promise you that on Thursday, we will read you, we'll continue to read you the letter. Samuel Toki was one of your ardent supporters during the 1997 elections. In the face of adversity between him and his former rebel comrade Charles Taylor, he called you a God-sent leader. Toki and his entire family didn't make it after you ran and left him holding the bag. A few weeks before Toki and his family were wiped out, Taylor was making a joke in his innermost circle that you had abandoned Toki, that you accused Toki of embezzling your campaign funds in Lima, that you were complaining about Toki personally eating the cow that you gave him for your arrival feast in Sanikole instead of cooking it for the feast. All of this point to Toki's enemies that they didn't expect any problem from you for whatever they did to him. Sure enough, when Dookie and his entire family were brutally murdered, the silence from you was as expected. It took more than 30 years before your party put a one-paragraph statement on the Dookie's murder. Kear Morning Live. We got to take our break. Tomorrow, the deputy sheriff will sit in. We'll continue the letter on Thursday, just so you know what this woman has done to our country. My time is up. My time is up as the people's sheriff. I owe it to you. You need to know what this woman has done to our country. But again, you, the very Liberian people, gave her 12 years. Even the immigration officer who assisted her to escape, running from the cruelty that if he was caught by the Dole soldiers, they were going to slaughter him. You never met the family. This is the story, a letter written before the 2005 election. That, hey, this woman you people want to elect is a problem for our country. On behalf of my madam, my producer George, the deputy sheriff, the CEO, the general, and thanks for your participation. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. In Spanish, we say mañana, but I won't be here. Mañana is tomorrow. Muchas gracias. Thank you ever so much for following. Continue to follow the sheriff and the team. God bless you. On Thursday, we'll be back. Have yourself a wonderful Tuesday.